My name is Anthony Le Suisse and I'm the CTO of Odoo. So what it means in practice is that I'm taking care of the R&D. The R&D is the people who develop the new version of Odoo every year. And this track is meant for people who are outside of the Odoo ecosystem. So we will start first with a few questions. And I will ask you also to raise your hand. So raise your hand if you know what is Odoo or you've used Odoo already. Okay. And raise your hand now if you already developed on Odoo. Okay, so I can tell you right away that probably you are not at the right spot, because here this afternoon the plan is to really make an introduction about what is Odoo and how to develop with Odoo. So we will cover basic stuff, like the first track will be a track by Raphael, and he will just do a tutorial on how to develop your first Python module. And then after we have a JavaScript talk. This one is more interesting because most of the developers who work in the Odoo ecosystem, they know how to develop in Python, they know the basics, but usually then they don't know much about JavaScript. So the second part is more interesting. But the first part will be very basic stuff. And my plan here in this presentation was to show you some of the stuff that we do in Odoo, just to tease you. So can we show my slides on the screen? No? Quoi? On l'entend pas bien? Je peux le plier? Comme ça? Is it better? Okay. Oui, voilà. So I wanted to make a small demonstration of Odoo, because I was expecting that many people here in the room would not know even what is Odoo about, and I wanted to show some of the cool features we do, because the idea was to attract developers, but developers that were outside of the Odoo ecosystem. People who've heard about Odoo, maybe they know a little about it, and they were curious to know more about it. So we'll do that by doing a bit of history. So traditionally, an ERP system, because Odoo was called before OpenERP and TinyERP. An ERP system is something that you use to manage your accounting, your inventory, orders, purchasing, etc. And traditionally, ERP systems are a bit ugly. If you go on Google and you check a screenshot of SAP, it's a bit ugly. And when we started Odoo, which was called TinyERP and then OpenERP, it was a client-server system. So you had to install a client. It was called the GTK client. I can show you, Google. Probably we can still find some image of the GTK client. And so you install the client locally, and it was connecting to a server, the Odoo server, and the communication was done using XMLRPC. Actually, the XMLRPC is still there. And what we were covering at the time was the basic ERP. Where is my Odoo? Okay, the basic ERP stuff. So the basic flow that we have in an ERP system. So the basic flow would be something like this. You have a CRM. A CRM is a tool that you can use to manage your sales opportunity. So people are interested in the product that you sell. Imagine that you sell internet connection or something like that. So people will contact you using a contact form or call you by phone, and then you have an opportunity. And here in Odoo we have an opportunity, and we have what we call a pipeline. So it's different steps where this opportunity live. And when I click on an opportunity, I have the detail of the opportunity. here somebody is interested to buy some carpets, etc. And to the right, we have what we call the chatter. And the chatter is a tool to communicate inside of Odoo, to communicate between colleagues, between employees of the company, but also to communicate with the customer or prospect. So here, when we have a quotation, I can send a message. And when I send a message in this chatter, I will send a message to all the people who are following this document. And the people who are following this document, there is me and the customer. And the customer is living outside of the company. So for the customer, he will receive a regular mail, and he can reply to that email, and it will come back here in the discuss chatter. For people who are inside the company, they get also notification. So doing this allows all the communication, even if it's email, to be centralized and stay inside the system. And then, we have this, what we call Kanban view. A Kanban view is just the fact that we display every object as a small Kanban. And that's you have the life of an opportunity. At some point, when the customer knows what he really wants to buy, we do what we call a quotation. So a quotation is a proposal that you will send to the customer, and you can select different products, etc. And you can send your quotation. Historically, we were sending quotation by snail mail or by fax, etc. But now everything is done by email or by sending a link, and the customer can go online. Oops, I send my quotation, and check his quotation online and accept his quotation online. Once we accept a quotation, then we will take care of the delivery of this quotation. And the delivery would be, if it's a physical object, inventory. If it's a physical object, we will generate. I want to go back to a sales order to give you an example. Let's take one that has been confirmed and that has some linked object. Voilà. No. Yeah, I wanted to find one with an inventory. There is none, but I will take one with a project. So, depending on what you sell, here it's service product. So when we sell service product, it generates tasks, and you have to plan those tasks, and then you can timesheet on them and invoice them. If it's physical product, it generates delivery order. Inventory. It generates delivery order, and you process those delivery order. The people in the warehouse, they will ship the product, and once it's done, you can invoice the customer, and once the customer has paid, we can reconcile, the payment with the invoice, and that's the flow is over. And that flow is really the basic stuff that every ERP system does, and it's like this since 40 years ago. ERP system did already that, and when we started to do 20 years ago, that was the first things we did. But at some point, we did much more than those basic ERP flows. And that's why we changed the name from OpenERP to Odoo, because Odoo is more than just a traditional ERP system. And we didn't want to have the stigma of ERP system, so it's just this, and this. We wanted to be free to do much more. And what are the stuff that we do outside of the traditional ERP system? For example, we do the website. So at the beginning, we had a portal in Odoo. So people, when we moved to a web version, we opened a portal, so people who had an invoice or had a sales order could come on the portal and check their invoice or their maybe sales order, etc. But it was limited to existing customer and supplier. But at some point we say, okay, we have a web server, we have a portal, why don't we make Odoo the tool to be used also as the main website of the company? And we started to build a website builder. And now the website builder is quite advanced. Here you can drag and drop blocks. So the goal of the website builder was, let's make it easy for people who don't know anything about HTML, etc., who are not designers, so that they are able to create nice looking website quickly to present their company. And once you have a website, because we are an ERP system, we have also a lot of information. For example, we know in the ERP system, we have the list of all the products that the company is selling. So we say, okay, we have a website. We should use also this website to display the product. And that made the e-commerce. So you have an e-commerce integrated into Odoo. And then we have also an HR application. In the HR application, let me check if it's installed or not. I don't know where it is in the menu, but you can publish job offers. And when you publish those job offers, they are on the website. When you have events, so before we had an event application in Odoo as a traditional ERP system. So you can manage attendees and tickets, etc. But when we introduce the website, it made really sense, because now you could register online, buy tickets on the website. So the website was really important, so that Odoo was not only the tool that employees were using internally, but also it was your the way you present yourself to the world. And then we also added a point of sale. And I have another question. Raise your hand also if you were this morning and you attended the presentation of Fabien. Okay, half of the people. So the point of sale, I show you. I will not do a demo, a full demo, but I just want to show you what it looks like. So it's a point of sale. It's something that you can install on a tablet or on a PC. It can be used as a restaurant. It can be used also as a traditional point of sale in a regular shop, not just for a restaurant. And you can just configure a PC, put it in full screen, and if you have a touch screen or a tablet, you can use it right away. And if you plug a barcode scanner, you can scan article if you have a shop. And if you need to use more sophisticated hardware, we sell what we call an IoT box, which is actually a Raspberry Pi. And you plug this Raspberry Pi in your network, and you can plug device on it, like a printer, like a barcode scanner, a payment terminal, etc. And okay, you can see we can order stuff, we can after pay, etc. We support payment terminals, we support cash, of course. And by having the point of sale, and the point of sale as an offline function also, so you are able to use the point of sale even if you don't have internet access. So it's important in developing countries, and even sometimes in Belgium too. When you lose internet access, you must be able to continue to process orders. Let's close. Let's close the. Oh. No, I don't want to close the session. I just want to go to bracket. Okay, so we have a point of sale, and by having the point of sale and the e-commerce in the same system, when you go on some reporting, because we have also a reporting tool. Let's switch. For example, here you have a sales number by customer, etc. So you have this reporting. Odoo is the only really omni-channel ERP system. So in one system, you have the point of sale, you have the e-commerce, you have traditional sales, like I showed you with the CRM, and you have all those information in the same platform. So when you look at the numbers here, in real time, you can see what's happening across all the channels. And when people ask me, does Odoo as a competitor? There is two answers to that. We have a lot of competitors if you consider every application that we do. So if you take just the CRM, if you take just the point of sale, if you take just the website builder, of course there is a lot of competitor. But when you mix all of them together in a single platform, Odoo has no competitor at all in the world. We are the only one to do so much stuff in just one platform. And that's why it's interesting, because actually this talk is also meant for people who would be interested to work in the Odoo ecosystem. What makes the Odoo ecosystem interesting is that it's very wide. I just showed you like 3 applications, the website builder, the point of sale and the CRM, but we have, for example, a planning application where you can, define slots and assign them. We have a project application. The project application is similar to the Kanban view I showed you in the CRM, but we have also marketing automation. So you can define different flow of marketing. We have the barcode, the inventory application with a barcode scanner, and the barcode scanner can run Odoo, so you can go in the warehouse, scan stuff, etc. So what I mean by that, so we have also survey application where you can do survey, send survey to people, get the reply. So the scope that we cover is very wide, and that's why it's interesting to work, because you can switch to totally different subject. So of course, when we talk about ERP application, people always think about accounting, and it's true, accounting is very important. But when I recruit new developers and I tell them, okay, it's an accounting software, they think, oh, maybe it's a bit boring, it's just like numbers and lines and stuff. Actually, accounting is very, very interesting. But when I show them around the product and I show all the stuff that we do, they say, okay, actually, it's a very interesting software, because it's like when you do an operating system, and then on top of this operating system, you have totally different application. And some people, they are interested in more front-end aspect of Odoo, like maybe the point of sale, because it's very visual, especially now that we release there is a new interface where you can order yourself. And you have also very more technical stuff like the business intelligence and the reporting. So I showed you the reporting. Let's go here. No. Okay. We have here a reporting application where you can drill down and get some insight about the data that is in Odoo. But if it's not enough, we also implemented a spreadsheet. So you can take the data that are from Odoo, put it in a spreadsheet. The value that you see in the spreadsheet are coming real time from Odoo. So if somebody buys something on the e-commerce, it will appear right there. And this is actually a fully featured spreadsheet. We did the specification for this tool was very easy. We just say, okay, let's copy Google spreadsheet. So we copied not everything, but many things. And this is, so we have a team working on a spreadsheet application. We have also a team working on the knowledge application. And knowledge application is actually a clone of Notion. So it's a place where you can create content internally for your team. It's like a modern version of a wiki. And this application is also very different from the traditional ERP where you have order, forms, and lines. Here you have 2 different applications, spreadsheet and knowledge, that are very different, and point of sale. So I want to stop I need to stop here, 20 minutes, yes. And maybe it was a bit boring for you who already knew Odoo, because I was supposed to make a talk to introduce Odoo for people who never saw it or just heard about it. And now it's time for me to take questions. So if you have questions, and in the question you can maybe go a bit deeper if you already know Odoo. I'm open to any question. So if you want to ask a question, just raise your hand. No yeah, one question over there. But for the question, you will need to speak a bit loud, and I will repeat the question afterwards. I'm wired. I cannot go there. How many languages? What? Ah, yeah, yeah. So that my introduction is just what is a bit Odoo, what do we do, what are the cool stuff we do, and I wanted to show a different screen. But technically, how does it work? Odoo is actually very simple. We have a database. It's a PostgreSQL database. And then on top of it, we have what we call the Odoo server. And the Odoo server is developed in Python. And on top of that, here in the browser, we have what we call a web client. That's the user interface of Odoo. And this is developed in JavaScript. So the stack is JavaScript for the UI. Then we have the Python server. And the Python server is modular. And the Python server, in the next talk, Raphael will introduce how it works, the basic stuff, how the modularity works, how the ORM works, etc. And then below that, we have storage, which is implemented by a relational database, PostgreSQL. And we have also, next to that, what we call the file store to store blobs. So the architecture of Odoo is very simple. Nothing. No SQL database, no microservices. This is very simple. Another question? Yeah? You have to come to me because I cannot move, I'm wired. I can move a bit. What? Yeah.
Most of our clients are in version 15.
Yeah.
Do you think honestly, do you think the version 17 is the right moment to migrate from version 14 and 15? Or do you think
yes. No, you should. No, so the question is. So it's a question for people who are already using Odoo. They say that they're in version 14, and for people who don't know Odoo here, we release a version every year. So this year is version 17. Next year, version 18, etc. And of course, there is a lot of new interesting feature, but when you have a project and you develop a lot of custom code, it's hard sometimes to migrate from one version to the next. But I would say that maybe it's okay to skip a version, and if you were in version 14, you skipped 15 and 16, but now it's time to upgrade to 17. Yeah. What we do, officially, we support 3 versions. And we advise people not to stay more than that. And on Odoo SH, with certain conditions, we can support up to 5 versions. So yes, it's time to upgrade. Okay, another question? Yeah, over there. Yeah, you have to come here. Sorry. Quoi? J'ai pas compris.
Est-ce qu'on peut avoir plusieurs sites web?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an interesting question. I didn't go into the details, but in Odoo, you can manage multiple companies using in the same database. So you can see here we have multiple companies, but you can also manage multiple websites on different domain names with different looks. Here. Where is it? I don't know where it is. I think it's here now. I'm not in debug, so here, I can create a new website, and the different website can be configured differently. Odoo is very evolved in terms of access right. Also, you can define different access right depending on the companies, etc. And also on the website, you can say, okay, on this website, I will display the website of this company. On another website, you can display different products, etc. So it's very powerful if you have different brands, but you want to use the same backend for the different brand that you have on different websites with different looks. Okay, we still have 5 minutes, so I like this kind of question because this is basic question for people who doesn't know. Yeah.
So we are at an age where most of big tech companies promote like microservice architectures.
Yeah. Why do we? So the question is why we don't do that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
is it ever possible to change to use?
No. Yeah. Yes, I will answer that. So the technical architecture of Odoo is very simple: database, a server, and a browser. So the question was, why don't we use microservices or fancy stuff like that? I had the opportunity to eat one day 2 years ago with the CTO of Amazon, and he told me that until 2007, Amazon was running on one server. Okay, and it was just after that time that they had to use microservices because one physical server could not handle it anymore. But until that point, they were using only one server because it's much simpler. When you don't need to scale big, you don't need microservices. So we don't have microservices because Odoo can handle companies up to, we think it will be able to handle company up to 50,000 employees with the basic architecture that is more simple. When you use microservices, you introduce concurrency and you open yourself to possible race condition, and it's more difficult. It's more powerful in the sense that probably you can scale more, but it's more complicated to implement. That's why we don't do it, because we don't need it. It's like the relational database we like also to use proven technology. Relational database dates from the 70s, and it works. And there is a saying about startups: if you do a startup, you only have the right to do three stuff that are maybe hype, etc. For the rest, you should keep it to proven technology. And Odoo is only using proven technology. The stuff that we did was 15 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago, we implemented a web client that was, new technology at the point, and that was a bit risky, but we don't regret it. And I think also we did something a bit more risky. We did our own framework. We had the not invented here syndrome, so we developed a lot of stuff by ourselves. That's maybe the way Odoo is risky, but for the rest, we like to use proven and simple technology because it works and does the job. Okay, so my presentation is over. Thank you for your attention. Sorry for people who knew a lot of Odoo and didn't learn much, but you were not really the audience targeted. And now Raphael will make a presentation about introduction about developing in Odoo, the very basic layer of how to develop module in Odoo. Thank you.